Hello Hambini fans and welcome to another episode of Hambini Reams. It is that time of the year again, my most favourite time. It is almost time for Christmas. And a big thank you to those people at Evercross who have sent me a new scooter to replace the one that got nicked. And this is it. So I don't normally do unboxings, but this is my new Evercross e-scooter. So let's find out what it's like. Safety knife in hand, it is time to do the unboxing. So, all very well packed. Came from somewhere in the UK. Right, let's get this out. Don't know if I can do it in a wanna. Give it a tug. I'm not sure that was supposed to happen. Well, that came out. Oh! Here she is, this bad boy. And now it's time to put it together. More knifing. Right, let's get this thing down and get this bolted up. Now, the hardest part of this entire build was getting that cable to go in there. So you probably figured out that this wasn't a particularly difficult thing to build. The unsheathing. Oh, yes. And there she is. We've got the machine. This is what you get with it, which is not a lot really. It's instruction manual, some screws, and a couple of Allen keys. So it is really geared up for someone who buys this, probably as if it's off Amazon, which is where one of the places where you can get it from. Because it's like those batteries not included jobs. So these are the two screws that I'm going to put into the handlebars, and we'll use the Allen key that came with it for giggles. Don't know where the rest of them go, but I'm sure I'll figure it out in a second. This is the Declaration of Conformity. We're not in the EU anymore, but it's got a UKCA one, which, if you look at the test standards, they're all the same. It just says BS in front of it, which is not what you would think it says. And this is the manual. I'll have a read of that a little bit later. Now, I would say the drawings and things in here, the diagrams in here, are very upmarket. They're not like your typical Chinglish instructions, and it's got a few of these that came with it. Now, in true Amazon fashion, these are the screws that came with it, and this is the Allen key that came with it. It goes in that one okay, but don't go in that one. So there's a slight fit issue in there, and it's the same in that one. Doesn't quite fit. This is the charger that came with it. We'll see if it's got a UK plug on it. And it has, which is a bit of a rarity. Usually they come with EU Schuko style plugs. Plug that in and we'll get going. So I've given this a bit of charge, and to power it up you just press this button and hold it, and that is it. If I push this trigger it will kick off. So you can hear the wheels going around. This does the indicator, that's the right turn signal, and it flashes, and it's got a Euro style blinker, so it's yellow. And then obviously this one does the other side, and then if you press them independently they go into the centre. The power button is the only button that you've got to control it, so you can change the thing into pedestrian mode, Eco, which is quite slow, D, which is sort of run of the mill, and then S, which is sport. Press and hold it, and it powers down. A few general comments on the build and stuff around here. There isn't really that much to go wrong. I haven't taken the plastic off here, but that's fine. All of this stuff is using run-of-the-mill screws. This is like a standard, almost like off your bike. The bell is cute. These four fixings are standard, just M5 or M6 countersunk X-head screws. And then you come down here. This is welded, and the quality of the welding on it, I mean, that looks like it's been TIGged. There's no obvious signs of crap welding there, so I'd say that was pretty good. And this looks like, well, it looks TIG welded as well. There's usually often sort of a dimple where the exit point is, but I can't see one on here. That hasn't been ground afterwards, so that is the raw weld. There's nothing really wrong with that if it's a good weld, and that is pretty good. The thing to note about this is it is extremely lightweight, and all the weight is towards the front of the scooter. It's front wheel drive as well. The power is coming through the front hub.
Right, it's now time for me and the Evercross to go to my darts match. So it's time for some on-scooter footerage.
Right, it is that time of the show again. It is time to see if the pen is working. Pen is working without any spaces. E-scooterage, who needs a bike? By Hambini, age 5, the tip bit. Now, in real world use, you'll get about 30 kilometers, and that is me riding around with my 80 kilo weight on fairly flat roads, but at full gas. So everywhere I go, I have it on like VMAX. And it's about, well, I mean, in the instructions, it says it's 6 to 8 hours. It's usually 8 hours to go from flat to full. Now, the controversial bit. Now, in the UK, it's illegal on public roads, but police rarely enforce it. Loads of people are on it. Delivery riders, people going to school. I've seen solicitors on them, and they are also sold in Halford. So from that, take what you will. Now, while I was at my darts game and I used my scooter to get to my darts match, I'll have you know I'm second in the league. One of the guys I was talking to while I was hammered said it is illegal for you to ride a push bike without reflectors on the wheels, front and back, and also on the pedals. Now, I don't know anyone who rides a racing bike that has those reflectors on. Yes, they might have lights, but you're supposed to have reflectors. So take that from what you will. Right, random specs. When you get it, it is German spec by default. So it is restricted to 15 miles an hour or 24 kilometers per hour. And you can register this for ABE. So it's 132 euros for me. If you are younger, it'll probably cost you more. So that means if you're younger than 5. And the important bit, if you want to remove the restrictor, press the button, power button, 6 times within 15 seconds. On, off, on, off, on, off, 6 times. And you will get VMAX. So it removes the restrictor and you'll get up to 20 miles an hour. Well, that's what I got, 20 miles an hour. Now, this is the Evercross website. You can see, as soon as you look at it, you can tell it's German. It's spec'd up for German market. Look, it's got Geschwindigkeitsmodi, which is speed modes, 10 kilometers per hour, 15, 20, all that lot. And then even the, the sort of like product highlights, Accu is German for battery. Your range is 35 kilometers. High temperature protection, all this kind of good stuff. And it also actually puts there how to remove the speed limit. I'm not sure they're supposed to do that, but anyway. There's not much more I can say on that. I mean, this is the UK website. There's one for all the EU countries, and you can buy it in the States. Now, the final points I would say is, for me personally, this is quite good because A, it fits in a car. So when I'm going somewhere, I can just shove it in the boot. It's 19 kilos, which is less than a bag of plaster. So it's easy to handle. I don't think you can take them on planes because of the battery, but you can certainly take them on the boat. So that is what I do. And if you are used to these things, now in my local darts club, it's not the club, the league, at the working men's club, a load of people turn up in scooters. Now we just take it in turns to swing on other people's scooters in lieu of the village bike. Now what you notice on the Evercross is the throttle is extremely linear. Whether it's at 12 kilometers or 12 miles an hour, 15 or 20, when you press it, it's like really, really linear. It doesn't like jolt you, because some of the cheaper ones, the throttle response looks more like that. Yeah, so you've got absolutely nothing, and then you press it, and then it's bang, it's all on full. And that's probably not what you want. So there we go. Right, now, would I buy this? Yes. Would I buy it even though I got it for free? Yes, it is really quite good. And to be honest, I much prefer scooters as a mode of transport for getting from A to B than a bike, because the paraphernalia with a bike, you've got like the lock, your bag, you worry someone's going to nick your wheels. Obviously, someone nicked my entire scooter, but I just need to get a better lock and remember to lock it rather than not be hammered and not lock it. Right, that brings us to the end of this presentation. If you did enjoy it, remember to smash that like button. If you didn't, go screw yourself. And as always, keep banging your hairdresser.